This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
You know how sometimes the first play of the game can be a real tone setter?
Aussie.
Yeah, I basically just went with Ashton Jen Teabag.
NFL.
He's not a walking 7 for 70 as I learned last week when he went 1 for 5.
Fantasy.
I'd probably lean towards taking Henry maybe ahead of McCaffrey just because of what I've seen.
The Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. Loading.
Australia's premier NFL fantasy football show is back. It's for the Aussie Gridiron Network. And this is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. The more we know, now that we're 3 weeks in, it just means the more injuries we seem to have to manage, fellas. It's pretty bad. They call me Matty C, and joining me after a pretty brutal week out there for fantasy managers is Australia's finest fantasy analyst, it's Talor. How are you, mate?
Matty C, if your ass is sore, I implore you to listen to us about week 4. Let's fucking go.
Mate, how did you know that my ass was sore? How? We didn't talk about this in the green room.
I get like an ass signal in the air, like the bat signal, that tells me as soon as someone's ass is sore.
Sure, it sounds a bit like a gaydar, to be honest. I'm just going to just put it out there.
You've probably found some kind of weird social media post already.
It's in that range. That's all I'm saying. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, it definitely seems ineffable.
It's in the ass range.
That's it. Straight away into the arse range.
Good start.
Mate, talking of arse, in breakouts, we kind of got our asses handed to us last week. But mate, you made one call right out of the gate that changed lives, fed families, and I feel like it may just be informing what's on your photo on the Zoom for us tonight. For me and the guests' benefit only.
I was all over Caleb Williams in multiple segments, honestly, last week. He was the quarterback I just was taking shots at. And it wasn't specific to him. It was more about just targeting that fucking Cowboys defense. And I sort of ran all the numbers. And, you know, I started doing some numbers last week, Matty C, where I still don't want to trust a small sample size of like 2 games this year, obviously being 3 now, but I wanted to basically sort of mesh between 2024 data and what we've seen so far in the first 2 weeks. And basically just telling me the Cowboys are a giant sack of shit in defense and they're not getting any better. So I basically used that to my advantage and targeted Caleb Williams at quarterback, and he had a massive day with 4 touchdowns, and you know, he just had it on a string, and he looked like the guy that everyone was hoping to see in the preseason. And I think from moving forward now, it's going to be more about, has he turned a corner, or was it just really that this Cowboys defense is just dog shit? And you know, I guess everyone's answer is going to be hoping to be it's both, because I think we know the Cowboys defense shit, but it's just we're going to see more consistency out of Caleb moving forward.
I hope so, but Your Honour, I've got an exhibit. I'd like to enter into evidence Russell Wilson.
That was like my biggest case. My biggest case for Caleb last week. It's like, did you not just see Russell fucking Wilson over 450 yards on this defense? Like, it's unbelievable.
And they played an average defense just on Sunday night and was a bucket of sweaty arseholes. So, you know, I don't know. I don't want to be a detractor from Caleb. I'm just saying. Maybe you and I could have a 300-yard day against the Cowboys. That's all. Mate, in terms of just having a good week, how did you fare in the listener leagues? Because, mate, I got some updates there as well.
In the Blue League, I got a win. I was pretty happy with that. I'm sitting at 1 and I'm sitting 3rd now. Still coming first in this league is at Fat Watts. He's actually 3-0. So he's had a very, very good start to the season. There's also at Will Murph 03, who's 3-0 as well. So I'm sitting there with the highest scoring 2-1 teams in 3rd.
Ooh.
It's been obviously a good start for those couple of guys. In the other one, in the Gold League, I lost this week, unfortunately. I'm 1-2, but still just sitting outside the top 6. Our boy Kev's still on fire in this league. He's sitting at 3-0. He's obviously on fire. So good work, Kev.
Did he have like CeeDee Lamb and Mike Evans? Can we slow him down somewhat? Is there something that we can do to throw a spoke in his wheels? I don't like the idea of Kev kicking ass at redraft. It's not really his thing. And
I know.
I don't understand.
He even has a buddy Michael Penix and Drake London stack. That should be holding him back, but
Oh my God.
yeah, obviously. I mean, take one guess at who his fucking quarterback is. Blake Lapsley.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is the thing, right? He's got a couple of loves, and once he puts one of them in, and they have a good week, firstly, you won't shut him up, and secondly, like if he's got the record to back it up, I imagine that he had a bit of good result out of this week with his Bears boy.
Yeah, I think I'm actually playing him this week, so we'll see how fucked my team is.
We'll see if Caleb can do it twice. That's the other thing. Mate, my two updates here in the Green League. I was the victim of the Jonathan Talor and Jameer Gibbs buzzsaw and lost to Zydex by 8 points in the end, which I think is amazing. Those two combined for 150 points. I think so to lose by 8. Kind of feel like maybe that was a bad beat, but I'm 1-2 in that one. And there's a couple of remaining winless teams who got their first win this week. So now no one's winless, and there's a couple of folks who are undefeated. I'm going to hand it to Boyd, who I played first week. His team is now called the Medical Tent because it's going a bit rough. And Joshua 94, they're the ones who remain undefeated. And this week I faced Tipsy Drew in a battle of 1 and 2 teams. And then the Red League brought me some redemption. Yeah, that's right. Laid out a gentleman's 183 this week in standard scoring. And poor old Rob Symes and his team, Mock King, took it like a man, even though his team is clearly a pack of boys now who really need their mama. So I've moved up to 6th from being winless. And I just want to shout out to Jai L2, who is the sole undefeated in that one. And I'm projected a bit of a cracker this week with a slight edge in projections against Joseph XHG. So we'll see if that holds, because if there's one thing we know, Taylor, and you learnt that in the Astros this week, projections always hold up, don't they?
Always, yeah.
Always. Undefeated.
The last 2 minutes of games never screws you.
No, never. Mate, so great stuff in the listener leagues. We've got 36 people playing against Taylor and I in these leagues, and 4 of them are going to be the top finishing listeners. Some of them may even win these leagues, and they're going to win a pretty cool AGN prize pack each. And we've also got the AGN footy tipping competition going on. We've got the Super Coach League as well going on for the NFL Super Coach half. So there's heaps of stuff happening in the network. If you haven't found that, make sure you find the podcast, because we'll give you the league code if you want to join. That's over 300 people in that at the moment too. So it's going gangbusters. That Super Coach half has been a real revelation.
Yeah, like I said, I come on this every single week and just, spruik how ridiculous the support's been for that podcast, and it just keeps getting stronger and stronger. It's an absolute train right now. You just hop on board, because it's going places at the moment, Matty Steve. So thanks again for everyone for all that support.
And it's super helpful because you can see a bunch of folks who've come to join it are coming from either an NFL background, a super coach background, and sort of have one preference over another, or one set of experience over another. And clearly it's a great place where people can learn how to combine those. Mate, quickly, one thing we do every week is we just go through a couple of the folks who've been a bit disappointing and just sort of decide whether they're still worthwhile, whether we should hold out a little bit of hope or send them to the PUNTAGON. I've got a couple of folks who I'm wondering if their names shall no longer be spake. Tay? First one, Lad McConkey. Everyone around him is a top 24 wide receiver. Somehow, 3 straight weeks, he hasn't been a top 24 wide receiver. What do we do? Can you bench him?
I don't think you can still bench him, especially where you probably drafted him. Like, you'd need a pretty good option to be starting over him. Like, it's almost like Ladd was being used as the new Keenan, and then Keenan came back. So it's just he's kind of not as
100%.
good. And then Quentin Johnson just decided to grow hands back. Like,
he no longer has dicks for hands, yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's just discovered he has them. So it's just that's all that's really happened. Ladd hasn't gotten worse. He's just got a situation where he isn't as needed as he was at the end of last year. So for the question in terms of punting or sitting him, I probably still wouldn't, because I just think he's as good at getting a touchdown or as any of the other two. But I just don't think I would look at him as more like a wide receiver 2, like at the bottom of wide receiver 2 right now, more so than the wide receiver 1 that you drafted. So you just got to have lower expectations.
He's wide receiver 41 at the moment. So, considering he's drafted at about 12. Mate, one after your heart. Chase Brown has had 13, 8, and 6. He's running back 30 right now. Staying in the Flames? Can you bench him? Can you trade him? Well, are you still running with him?
You very much can sit him. It's brutal. This is tough, honestly, Matty. I kind of just want to plead the fifth and just not say anything on the podcast. But it's really hits the home for me because I have so many shares of him, and I've been trying to find ways not to play him. Like, I've kind of gotten lucky in a way that a lot of the leagues I took him in, I kind of went heavy at running back, and I've got like guys like J.K. Dobbins that are just outperforming him easily that I'm able to sort of start that I drafted a lot later. Can you play him in a pinch? Yes, but it's crazy that we're already here with this guy that I was spruiking as this like well inside the top 10, and now it's like you can barely even play him as a running back 2 at the moment.
Very tough. Mate, 2 more that I just wanted to hit on really quickly. I'm just wondering, can you drop him? RJ Harvey has had 8, 4, and 3. He's running back 48. Can you just cut him?
I'll spruik myself in this one, Matty C. Proud of my J.K. Dobbins call for the earlier in the year. I think he is. He just doesn't. He's not getting the utilisation. It feels like, if anything, there's like a Tyler Beatty is just a good chance. As good a chance as getting like a catch as RJ Harvey. It doesn't even seem like Harvey has like the passing down work locked down. It's just so much J.K. Dobbins at the moment. But I think right now he is cuttable.
All right. Well, the other one also, this one actually might sound a little personal, but can you cut Calvin Ridley?
Yeah, you can. I had literally no shares of him this year. I wasn't that high on him this year because I've never liked a wide receiver, even a wide receiver 1, with a rookie quarterback. They just don't throw generally for a high amount of yardage. Yes, we've seen outliers recently, but generally rookies don't have huge passing yardage, and it's just exactly what you're seeing from Cam Ward at the moment. It's high hundreds, eking into low 200 passing yardage, and then you've even seen Ayo. I never say his name out right.
Yeah, Alex good luck with this one.
Has sort of broken out and looking possibly better than Ridley at the moment anyway. So. Yeah, I think it is because I just don't think the passing volume's there for the Titans, even though they're coming from behind in games. There just isn't enough to go around.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Other honourable mentions who we won't dive into are guys like Jerry Jeudy, who's kind of falling away there as Flacco deteriorates. Laporta's only got 4 targets each of the last 2, which is getting a bit rough. Like, you might want to start looking around there. And mate, Bo Nix is also someone who we're expecting better out of, and he's currently quarterback 20 behind Bryce Young and fucking Rattler. Jesus. So it's not going well for Bryce. So we won't dive into them, but there are other names that I think would have been legitimate to talk about.
G'day, Gridiron.
Some of the things that come out of my mouth, I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah, I joke that I've got enough drops from Brad right now that I could probably create Brad AI.
Twice a week, all season long on the Aussie Gridiron Network.
I don't care that you're 22 years old. No phones!
G'day, Gridiron.
I'm just really keen to bring our guest on, Tay, because we're in this wonderful position. We're bringing back another guest who's been with us a few times now, and it's so much fun to bring back someone who's sort of been through here, had a bit of a kick around and sort of seen how we run things and doesn't mind giving us a little bit of shit. And I'm really looking forward to that from our guest tonight. You about ready to bring him in?
Absolutely, mate. Kaya McCow's alumni. just won the title, and he's all pumped. Perfect time to bring on Brendan Long. Welcome.
Thanks, fellas. Thanks, guys. Coming off took a bit of a beating in some of my leagues this week because I came up against the Minnesota defense in the only leagues that play defense. So I've changed my tone, and defenses should just go the way of the dodo bird. Get them out.
With you.
Mate, I agree, even though I was one of the Vikings guys who beat you. But I agree with you. I'm not a big fan of defenses in fantasy. Mate, it sounds like you come up against the buzzsaw a bit. You're sounding a bit sore and sorry from that.
Well, and then I was just listening to some of Tay's your guys, both of you guys going through the people that you can bench and drop, and just realising that I own half of them. So that's a bit of a sad start to the day.
Me too, mate.
Lad McConkey in every single redraft league. I think I got him every single time. So yeah, it's looking. That's But I think I was lucky because most of them then I was able to pick up Keenan Allen very late on. So I've kind of just been able to swap them out a little bit. But yeah.
Well, because the day where Keenan does the Mike Evans and ruins his hamstring. That's what you're going to need for Lad, I think. So this is the rare handcuff receiver. Yeah,
That's right, yeah. That's right. That's the goal anyway. Mate, that's what I keep telling myself.
Yeah, see, that's it. But, mate, your fantasy season's doing all right. You got a couple of leagues that matter to you a lot. How are you traveling?
A couple of good results so far. I think 3-0 in one. Got 2-1 in the other two, and then a couple of 1s and 2s. But the 1s and 2s, I'm entering one of my big leagues, my preferred dynasty league. I'm entering a bit of a soft patch at the moment, so I should basically, it's basically a bye this week, so that's pretty good. I'll chalk that one up as a win already. And yeah, so that's going to get me going in the right direction. And yeah, anything can happen. I'm still hopeful. I'm still one of those guys that, wakes up every morning and thinks, this is it. I'm going to have a go, and it's going to turn out all right. I've been bitten by the injury bug a couple of times as well, which has been a bit unfortunate, with a few shares in Joe Burrows and CD Lamb as well to go with that as well. So that's been a bit fun.
Brutal this week. Brutal.
Yeah.
But it will turn around. It'll turn around.
No, he basically decided after last year he's never doing a trade with me ever again. After I traded him a Murray Cooper and got Mike Evans back. To be fair, I did also give him Lamb, and I got Nico Collins. So it was like it evened out in that way. But it was he was also the defending champ, and in that league, the rest of us are trying to stop the defending champ from getting this like prize pool of money if they do it. So a part of that trade was like, I felt like, remember I was saying to you, obviously with Dak going down, I didn't like CD rest of the season, but I loved Mike Evans. So I was like, I'm willing to take the long-term pain, I think, of this trade, just for a short-term chance that it will help me try and win the title, but then also possibly hurt Brendan. So it
definitely did. I think,
and Harry will never trade with me ever again.
Well, I was going to say, I got to the finals of that league.
Yeah.
And I think I lost by a handful.
Yeah, you did.
And if I had said Evans instead of a Cooper, it would have been different.
Yeah, I did well. But now
it was a rusting bag of arseholes at the end, yeah.
The problem is it might have been a curse that we thought was a blessing, because now Pete Neal won and he has possibly the best fucking NFL fantasy side anyone's ever seen. So he's going to probably win about 8 years in a row now. So it might have been better to just let Brendo win.
Yeah.
Also paying him, just giving Brendo the jackpot. Yeah, mate, you would have been laughing.
Pete's just going to win this small amount on the jackpot like 8 years running. It's just going to be the bare minimum each time.
That's so annoying. So annoying. Pete. And he was on the podcast very early on while I was doing a lot of preseason stuff, gloating about his team in that too. So have we circled to make sure he's not coming back, Tate? Have we... We got him on our banned list for this year.
No, he's back. He's coming on with Kev later. A little bit of a bit of foreskin. We're going to have him on for Packers versus Bears week with Kev. That's going to be brilliant.
Wow.
Hey, whatever you're doing that weekend, stop what you're doing to make sure you join us for that, because those two have just been chirping at each other for the last 2 years, and we've never got them in the same room at the same time, and I cannot wait. Oh, I cannot wait for that one. Now, Brendo, what we do when we bring a guest on, and this has not always worked, is we've gone through a bunch of players who we expect for the upcoming week. Guys to circle, if you've got them in your lineup, they're people who you could probably expect to have a really good week. If they're not, but hey, mate, there might be an opportunity to go and finagle a little bit of a trade to get them into your lineup, just to spotlight opportunities where you might expect big scores out of players. Our success rate so far this season hasn't been exactly extraordinary, but you got yourself prepared to come and bring us a few breakout candidates this week, mate?
I got a couple. On the board. We'll throw a few out there. We'll see what happens. I hope that just Taylor disagrees with me, because that makes it a lot easier, and it makes me feel like I'm on the right path if Taylor's disagreeing with me. But yeah, we'll see how we go.
You actually didn't have a horrible week with breakouts last week, actually, and I disagreed with you about the Caleb Williams things, because I wanted to see it. Well, I've fucking seen it now, but mate, take your 2 seconds and go bask in the sun here.
Yeah, I'll kind of have already, but I'll do it again.
I'll do it again.
Another segment, I'll probably do it again. So, mate, get out of my way. Just tanning it up. But yeah, look, it's really more about the Cowboys defense more so than it is really about Caleb, honestly. That it's just, honestly close to the worst defense I've ever seen. It is just deplorable. Like, teams are just like openly laughing about how easy it is to come up with plays to defeat this team. Like, they were a bad defense last year, and then they just go and get rid of their best defensive player, and then they have another one in their secondary go down injured, and it's just a nightmare. Like, they are just going to get torched every single week. It's honestly only a question mark of how much the Dallas offense can keep up on the other side, because if they can in matchups, then the other team could score in the 40s. Like, the only thing that probably stopped the Bears was the fact that Dallas only scored 14 points on the weekend. So, yeah, I just think they're just going to be a defensive target all season.
This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
You know how sometimes the first play of the game can be a real tone setter?
Is it like Crash Bandicoot? Ooga booga.
And he's landed in New England.
There is no more New England. It's New England now. Because
England?
Yeah.
Can't explain that.
It's asses instead of horses on there.
The Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
What we did last week, and I actually really like that we did this last week, and this is something I'm going to continue to do, is I'm going to throw to our guest first and say, hey, Brendo, pick a position with your favourite breakout candidate, the guys that you've prepared, and let's start there. Give us your hottest tip.
Okay, so the hottest one I've got so far is probably at the tight end position, which is not, obviously, it's not always the sexiest one, but it's someone that's starting to start to warm up, and I just feel like he hasn't scored a touchdown yet this year. It's for a team that has a terrible offense at the moment. They're very lucky to score any points, so it has to come sooner or later. And that's Njoku against the Lions for the Browns. I'm saying that he's going to top at least 75 receiving yards and a touchdown this week.
Ooh. With a couple of receptions, that's north of 15 points. Like, that's a good day out for any tight end.
Yeah, so because his target share has started to go up. I mean, I know they've got the rookie, but I can see that they're gonna play that two tight end set again just to keep obviously people close, because obviously Flacco's not going to escape anyone if they get through. So they're going to have to keep those two tight ends around and maybe start to look for the safety valve of the short options, and then there will be some garbage time, I reckon, in this game. And as with fantasy, we all know garbage time, fantasy points count the same as winning time.
I have so many shares of Njoku. I even still have him in my bloody Supercoach team. I didn't do the trade to downgrade him. I just sort of kept him and just ran him on my bench. But yeah, I still feel like it's coming. It's been a weird situation where the Browns' defense has actually been good, and it's not called Flacco to actually have to air it out as much as you probably would have liked. But I still feel like that connection is coming. Like, I still feel like his connection should still be better with like Njoku than Fannin. Like, they've obviously worked together for a lot longer. So yeah, I like it. I do think that there are better days on the horizon. Like, I haven't sold any of my shares of him. I feel like he's doing enough compared to other shitty tight ends that I don't see the point of streaming him.
Yeah, well, and Joker with Detroit for, what do we say, 15 plus? Do you reckon that's a good number to stick on it, Brendan? 75 yards on the TD, hey?
Yeah.
Touchdown guarantee. Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Yeah.
Oh, not again. I'll fuck that up.
We brought back the touchdown guarantee last week, Tay. It didn't help me at fucking all.
I know, it didn't at all. I think you ruined it by taking him. If it was me, it would have.
Tay, you got a tight end for us?
Yeah, I mean, it feels a bit shitty, like taking this guy after he just had a massive game. You kind of would like to have got in front of that, but I'm going to take Hunter Henry. It's more of a connection thing with Drake May at the moment. He just seems to be not really utilising his wide receivers at all. It's just all going to Hunter Henry. He seems to be a safety blanket for him, and he comes up against the Panthers, who, are 26th against the tight end position in 2025, and we're also second last against the position in 2024. So I just think it's obviously an area that's super exploitable. I know the Panthers are kind of exploitable generally everywhere, unless it's the fucking Falcons playing against them, apparently. Wow. But normally I'm going to use that as the outlier and not the norm, and I'm going to sort of keep targeting this Carolina defense until they show me for multiple weeks that they have turned a corner. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Hunter Henry here. I think he's going to have. I'm going to go 15 plus PPR.
Yeah. And I think it's a good line, 15 plus for a tight end, because we saw in week 1, if you scored 15 plus, you were probably tight end 2 behind Juwan Johnson, of all things to happen. Like, so 15 is a good line. And I was going to go the same sort of direction with my tight end. I've sort of been using 15 as the rough line, except for that week that Bowdo and I kind of bullied each other to 17, and we both really sucked at that. And I thought I'd take Ethan Strange against the 49ers in the same way, Brendo. It's Jags versus 49ers this week. That's you versus me, head-to-head. But I just kind of feel like that's the spot where Strange is getting plenty of targets. He's definitely got the eye of the one with the golden locks, and there is kind of almost like a designed weakness in the middle of the field there, because I feel like you're going to be in charge of that game. The Jags will be just doing what they can to try and keep involved, and that's a nice soft area to attack. And that I don't think the 49ers will mind that. There's also just kind of the added little bonus of maybe Trev not being completely shitting himself running for his life without Nick Bosa out there. So hopefully that will also just kind of help funnel that. So I've also gone with the same line, 15 plus, but for Brenton Strange.
Matty?
You think that's crazy, Brendo?
I don't think it is, because there's obviously he's the golden lock quarterback probably has got some hair in his eyes or something, because he can't see he seems to have gone away from his favourite wide receiver target last year, but I guess he's dropped it a couple of times last week that didn't help the cause. But yeah, so there's definitely he does not seem to me to have that connection still with Brian Thomas. I mean, it's early days and it'll probably come, but it's starting off early.
But just it's not seeing its way through.
That's right. I think he's only got 7 receptions on the year.
Yeah.
Something
from
like that.
25 targets. Yeah. I did the math on it. 7 of 25. That's abysmal. Abysmal. I could throw 25 tennis balls at you from short range. I reckon you catch 7 of them, Brenda. We should try this out. You against the wall.
Against the wall, yeah. But yeah, no, I think there's definitely something going on there that they have to fix up. But the only thing I would be worried about is that you are still playing, if you're doing that sort of that stuff, that sort of those tight end coverages in the middle, you are playing into some of, if they're not bringing Fred Warner, and that you're playing into obviously one of the better covering middle linebackers in the league, which could cause a little bit of a trouble. But as you said, there's not going to be as much pressure coming from the line with Bosa now gone. So you're going to probably have to bring more people. So I guess that's where if you can pick your poison, see where it's coming from, and hopefully, find those easier outs.
I wanted to make sure I got a nice Jags versus 49ers reference in early too, mate.
I was looking at it, to be honest, and I was going to say, I was actually my quarterback one was going to be whoever the quarterback is, it doesn't matter, they'll score at least 5. But then I was realistic that is that real? That's you can't even get McCaffrey going properly yet, so I probably shouldn't.
Matty, sorry, you mentioned all the stats of how well the Niners defend the tight end position. How do they defend Canberra Raiders 5/8 and Ethan Strange that you brought up?
Ethan Strange. Did I say Ethan Strange?
Definitely did. I was laughing the whole time.
I miss him. He had 1 week sick and I miss him.
I have always wondered how the Niners would defend Canberra Raiders 5/8. It's always been
I reckon they'd be fucking absolute. They just have no answer. They'd have no answer. They'd just be like Daly Cherry Evans. No chance.
Shout out. Hopefully he's feeling better, because it sounded like he was sick as fuck.
I was going to say the that's a win for you, isn't it, Tay? Your Newcastle Knights had as many postseason wins as the Canberra Raiders and Canterbury Bankstowns this year.
We had the exact same seasons.
That's right.
Dragons too, mate. Just throw us in there. Yeah.
Well, one less wooden spoon for the rest of it.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, Tay, I'm going to throw to you. Do you have a hot one to go for round 2 here? We've got 3 our tight ends. We've got Hunter Henry, David Njoku, and Ethan Strange. You got a player who's top of your list?
Shout out Ethan. I am going to go back to the well on this one a little bit. It's almost like he entered the starts of the week cauldron last week, and now he's kind of graduated himself into a breakout for me this week. I'm going to take Ricky Pearsall against the Jags. I sort of like to mesh numbers between 2 different seasons at the moment, and the Jags are 30th against the wide receiver position in 2024 and are 21st against the position so far in 2025. So
stout, you'd say.
Slight improvement, but just generally when you're kind of comparing the two, they are definitely beatable in the wide receiver position. So, and I feel like there's a bit of confidence there in Pearsall now. I obviously took him in starts of the week because there was question marks about Jennings. So I felt like even if Jennings played, I still felt like Pearsall had been breaking out already. But the fact that, there's obviously question marks over Jennings' health basically week to week. You're obviously still not seeing Ayuk. It's just basically McCaffrey and Pearsall in the passing game without Kittle there as well. I just trust it at the moment. And honestly, it didn't really bother me if it was Purdy or Mac Jones. They both seem to be able to get Pearsall the ball. So, it looks to me like it's probably Purdy this week. But obviously, if it's the third stringer, there might be a little bit of concern. But in general, Pearsall looks like he's killing it right now. So, I've taken him against this Jags secondary. So I'm going to go for him. I was looking around. I was going to say 18 PPR points. I wasn't quite going to go up to 20 because I felt like Pearsall still isn't one that's been, uber started. It's not like I'm taking like JSN from last week. So I didn't feel like I needed like a 25 plus.
Yeah, that was a big line.
To work, but I just thought 18 would be a good number for Pearsall.
He almost had that 25 points in the first quarter last week, Jason. What a player. Hey, Brenda, you'd be happy about this Pearsall call, right?
Well, I was just going to think, who thought at the start of the season when the Niners signed Mac Jones to backup quarterback to make sure that they could get all the information on those deadly Jags? It'll be coming out in week 4 this year. But anyway.
Yeah. And without it, you'd be fucked, by the way. Without Mac being double agent, you'd be fucked.
That is entirely true. I don't know how they...
Mate, have you got a wide receiver for us, Brendo? I knew you would love that one from Tay.
Yeah, no, it was good. I do like that one. I went a different route. This one is basically just gone with some team that I feel is going to be behind and throwing the ball 1,000 times, and they've lost a wide receiver, and that's Turpin from the Cowboys to get a sneaky 100 yards, not on a huge volume. So, maybe like on the sort of four reception type thing, just a couple of blown things, garbage time once again, because the Packers will be keying up obviously on Pickens and Ferguson to sort of stop them from producing. And I think from the weakness of where the Packers might be on defense, it is a little bit around that cornerback position as well. So they will obviously have to stick someone on him, and I could just as we said before, garbage time still counts. So Dak's going to have to be slinging it because they're going to be behind again, because that defense can't, it's about as useful as a wet paper bag at the moment. So so I'm thinking probably then if you say 100 yards or 4 catches, so it's around that 15 PPR point.
Absolutely love it. I didn't go so deep. I actually kind of went to the other end of the tree, and after watching a not terrific offense just feed their guy who had a big day against a really not terrific defense. I'm just going to go and do the same because the opportunity is the same. I've got Nico Collins versus the Titans after Nico just goes and throws up a nice 20-odd point day against the Jags in a game where I was somewhat competitive most of the way. It was low scoring and the Texans never took a lead and kind of never looked like taking a lead. They may end up taking a lead in this one, but I think they'll be doing it on the strength of really have a running game, and the Titans defend the run pretty well. So you kind of got to lob it around. So I'm taking Nico for 150 yards and maybe give me a touchdown. But I think at 150 yards plus whatever the receiving is on that, couple of receptions on that, then that probably gets you your 20-point game. So I was just going to say Nico with 20 points against the Titans. I'm going to keep this ball rolling and move straight to my quarterback. Tay, you offered me a trade only a little earlier today, and this is kind of part of why I didn't take it, is I've got Jordan Love as my quarterback against Dallas, who are a passing disaster for 20 points. Mate, you'd offer me Dak, so it was going to be swapping quarterbacks in the same game because I've got CeeDee Lamb, but with CeeDee Lamb dead, it wasn't as attractive to me as Jordan Love against the worst passing defense in mankind. So you can sort of see why I went past that one. But that's my call. Jordan Love, 20 points versus Dallas. Let's do it.
Well, I'm going to hop on your back and squash you like a pancake, Matty C, because
I'll piggyback you, baby.
I've also got Jordan Love against the Cowboys, so you and I can ride simpatico.
How many points do you reckon he'll get? I mean,
I had him as top 4.
Okay. Top 4, 20 points. Done. Both of us. Brendan, do you think we're doing the right thing here by just absolutely jerking off over how bad the Cowboys defense here is?
Well, it is pretty terrible, but I reckon, but if I had to pick one, I'm going to go back to what I was teasing earlier, and I'm going to go whoever the Niners quarterback is, it's going to put up about 3 touchdowns against the Jags.
Niners QB throws 3. That's how I'm writing it.
That's right.
Okay?
That's the tagline.
As long as they go for a few little dumps. No, but I do like that. I do like that one. And then I thought of another random one, if like thinking of props, just because of what's happened in Arizona. I was thinking, it would be interesting to see. I could see actually Kyler Murray leading the team in rushing this week. Just to sort of see how it goes. To say because that was one area where they were able to get a bit of movement along against that Niners defense. So it was obviously back in the playbook for the design runs. So
it's been a while. We haven't had somebody come on and start talking about quarterbacks with how much rushing they're likely to get. This is kind of new. This sounds like something you would do, mate.
It's I'm not allowed to talk about Kyler on this podcast anymore. It's gone too wrong, so I'm just going to let the guests.
It's Welsh. You love him. So leads the Cardinals in rushing, plus you've got the Niners quarterback throws 3 touchdowns.
I mean, because the Niners one's kind of a gimme, so I wanted to do something at least a little bit difficult to get that going. So I thought I'd put that out there.
Really trying to ruffle my feathers, this man, and he's not going to succeed. I've got teenage children, mate. You can't expect me to crumble that quickly.
And the other reason why I think Kyler's going to lead it as well is because I just feel like they're going to be looking for someone else to sort of bring in, even via a trade with that, maybe with the Jets or something, to bring one of those guys over. So I think it's going to be obviously it's already been deemed, a bit of a weakness. So,
mate, we'll stick with you for the last whoop around. We're at the spot now where we're looking for the running back, and mate, running backs are kind of becoming like hen's teeth. It's a little hard to find a good one who might break out. What do you got for us this week?
I was going to say we kind of already started. I mean, I was kind of just obviously trying to stack up on the Niners love. So I was going to go McCaffrey finally breaks out and gets that 100-yard rushing game. I mean, he's had over 100 yards per yards, but I think he gets that 400 yards rushing game. And so that's that type of. He's going to have like what's that make? 100-yard rushing, probably close to
the rushing, right?
Probably close to 150, 175 all-purpose yards. So sort of that, what's that make it? Getting close to that 25-point range.
Yeah, gets a touchdown and a few catches.
Yep.
We'd be desperate for a McCaffrey 25-point day, right? I've been kind of looking for it. I've got a lot of shares of McCaffrey because I was a pretty early adopter. You were sort of looking at him earlier in the draft season too. Did you wind up with many shares of him? Are you keen on this?
Yeah, I got him. Obviously, we did a guillotine league super duper early, and it was still back when he was going 14th, 15th pick and stuff. So I was up everywhere. I didn't get as many close to the draft season. It just sort of didn't work out that I was around the right draft area, but I think I still ended up with 4 or 5. So I still definitely have, he's in my main dynasty league. I've had him since the draft, 5 or so years ago. I've obviously drafted him in a few different leagues. So got him in Supercoach as well. So he's definitely one that I'm always keeping an eye on.
Yeah, I love it. I'm very heavily invested in McCaffrey. He's probably one of the players I own the most leagues this year for redraft, just because I kind of believed. And I'm sort of glad because there's been a lot of problems in other parts of the roster. McCaffrey just managed to stay healthy. So every week he's healthy and there are still diminished parts of that offense. I'm pretty sure that any week could be a 40-point week, any week. And it would not shock me. I'm going to love when it happens. This would be a great week to start, mate, even if it is against my Jags, because the fantasy matters, mate. I love my NFL, but the fantasy matters.
Well, that's it. And also, I could see them trying to. I do think that this is also a week where you'll start to see the Brian Robinson start to get more of a share of the shorter yardage stuff, just because he's had that time to acclimate himself to the team and start to get into that type of role as well. So they'll be able to spell him, and he will be fresh, and it will be, I know you just mentioned before he's been receiving 50% of the target share. I think they're going to be able to drop that back a little bit and make it more, more chunky stuff than just having to 100% grind him to the ground.
Yeah, well, and you like to think every week they're getting close to having a better, healthier set of receiving options around too. And Kittle's not gone forever. He'll be back soon too.
Yeah.
Hey, Tay, you got a running back for us?
I've got a pair of running backs for you, Matty C, this week. So I'm actually going to start with a guy that has sort of thrown a few trade offers out, just testing the waters about, how, puckered everyone's arseholes are about this guy. But first up, I'm going to start with Ashton Gentebag, a man that I coined, earlier in the preseason, up against the Bears, who are 29th against the running back position in 2024 and 27th so far in 2025. I just think this is a better situation. He's getting hit way behind the offensive line or the line of scrimmage every single time he basically runs at the moment, but I don't think the Bears have the defense to actually sort of take advantage of that. I think the Raiders' offensive line will get a bit of a reprieve against this Bears D-line. And this could be the breakout game that Genty owners have been waiting for. So I've paired him with another running back who's going to be an island up against Pittsburgh. I'm going Jordan Mason up against this Steelers team. They were a little bit better against the run last week, but I think that was just more a Ramondre problem with the 2 fumbles and just obviously the Pats not really having a lot of continuity in their running back position. The Steelers have just been sort of getting blitzed at the running back position outside of that week. And Jordan Mason looked phenomenal with a couple of touchdowns last week. So I've got these two, and I am giving you, Matty, this week a double touchdown guarantee, baby.
Ring the bell, ring the bell.
I'm saying they both score a touchdown this week.
Oof. I don't have a double touchdown guarantee graphic, mate. You're going to make me do some extra work here. I like the call. I love when you do this thing of parlaying a few things together and getting a multi on. Mate, and I have sort of been on the fence about Genty, but so the second he gets any sort of space, I'm going to love to see what he can do. And he needs more matchups like this. This Bear side, famously not super stout. So this hopefully will be the week for him because I don't have a heap of shares of him, but I've definitely had people try to peddle him to me. And I'm like, no, I need to see it. This could be the week.
Yep. I reckon it is, mate. That's why I'm throwing out offers just to see if anyone might want to give him up before this week. So, yeah, I just really like this matchup. So, Jordan Mason's kind of speaking for himself at the moment, but I just think I thought to take a shot on a guy that people are a little bit concerned with and see if I can get in front of that breakout.
I'll keep my running back in the family, mates. Very famously, I've been on a couple of long-distance running adventures with my cousin James Cook recently, and I see the James Cook are up against the stinky Saints, and I'm going to go and put him up for 100 yards, touchdown, plus all the requisite little, garnishes to get him to 20 points. He is definitely the man when it comes around the goal line. If it's not... it's just there doesn't seem to be really any competition for him around that goal line. They're not bringing in Ray Davis to do that anymore. Ty Johnson would have to run one in from 20. So it's all James Cook and, that New Orleans team not looking so stout. So I'm going to go and beat up against them, and that'll be my breakout for the week. Looks like for our tight end positions, we've got Taylor's got Hunter Henry at Carolina with 15 points. Brendan's got Njoku at Detroit with 75 yards and a touchdown. We reckon he'll get at least 15 points there, and I've gone for the 15-point over with Brenton Strange or Ethan Strange against the 49ers. We've got quite a few 49ers going the other way, though. Check this out. Brendo's got the 49ers quarterback with 3 touchdowns against the Jags, but he also sprinkled in there just that Kyler Murray should also lead the Arizona Cardinals in rushing. That's a double quarterback call. Tay's going to take in Jordan Love along with me. We think 20 points or top 4. Our wide receivers, Tay's gone ahead and taken, again, a San Francisco 49er against the Jags. Ricky Pearsall with 18-plus points. Brendan's gone for Kevontae Turpin for 15-plus points against the Green Bay Packers. And I've gone for Nico, 20-plus points against the Tennessee Titans. We'll wrap it up with our running backs. I've got James Cook, the captain, 100 yards, 20 points against the New Orleans Saints. CMC for 1,000,000 yards, or at least 100, or rushing yards, maybe 160, 170 all-purpose yards, but a bunch of points finally cracking through the 100 for the 49ers against the Jags. And then I love this. Ashton Genty versus Chicago, Jordan Mason at Pittsburgh, a touchdown each, double touchdown guarantee. Hey, this could become a new thing, do you reckon? Is this something that I've got to be prepared for?
Yeah, and next week, get ready for a triple touchdown guarantee.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is a level of gymnastics I don't know how to do, so that is our breakouts for this week. And it's time for a game that is sweeping the nation. It's time to play Tipping Point. Brendo, have you seen this game? We've been playing it for a couple of weeks now. Have you seen how this works?
I've got some ideas.
Yeah, okay. So essentially, for those who are playing at home, and I'm encouraging people who are listening and play at home, I'm going to bring up 5 players, one at each position: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and then a 5th player, like a joker. And the idea is we're going to have one person start the bidding on how many fantasy points they think that player is going to score this week, and you have alternating bids until someone thinks that their number's too big and they're going to cap out. And then we're going to see if that player clears that line or not. Tay, last week, tough week, mate. You lose 4-1 to Cam. The beanbag man gave you a bit of a beanbagging.
I don't know what it is with this segment, but I get absolute segment amnesia as soon as we record this. Like I was sitting there on Monday and I was like, who the fuck are the guys that we picked? Like I could not even remember. I knew JSN because I just remember obviously we went the high number on 22 and it was just crazy because I was doing the numbers on what he was on and I was like, they're not going to pass at all in the second half. He's sitting there on 21.4 points or something and I'm like, this is absolutely brutal because I feel like I've picked this like a fucking dirty nose and I'm still going to get it wrong. And then there was another one that I knew he got right. I'm sorry. There was one I knew I got right with Talor Warren because I remember we were super high on Talor Warren and he didn't go that well. And I was like, I could not think of the other 3 for my life. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to bother thinking about it. I'm just going to wait until someone notifies me of what happened. And then I found out that Cam had won 4-1. I went, you know what? This is fucked. So, all right, I'm going to try and get back to 2-all. I'm down 2-1. I don't care about the aggregate. It's all about trying to beat Brendo this week.
Yeah, that's it. So this is the thing. It's like test match cricket, right? It's not about how many points you score in the day. It's did you win the test match? And at the moment, the world is leading 2-1. So mate, this is a Taylor redemption story, or is it going to be Brendan's finest hour? Mate, what we learned last week was that, man, there were some high lines and pretty much everything came in as an under. It was mental. So maybe a little strategic this week trying to set these lines.
Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right, mate. I'm gonna throw to you first. So I think it's a gentlemanly thing to do, and I'm gonna kick it off with the running back this week. Derrick Henry goes into Kansas City. Kansas are 16th against the running back. Where do you want to start with a bid on how many points you think Derrick Henry is going to score this week in Kansas City?
So Derrick Henry in Kansas City. Let's start at 17, 100 yards and a touchdown type stuff.
He's thinking hard.
I think I'm going to go under.
Straight out of the gate.
It's not that I dislike Henry. It's just I've always felt like the Chiefs are a very decent run defense. I know Scatterbo seemed to fucking run amok last week, but in general, I think them going home, I don't know, this portrays more to me like a Lamar game than a Henry one. So I kind of had a number around 15 in my mind, and then when you've said 17, I'm like, I probably could barter, and then I just didn't want me to say 18, and you go, you know what, I'm fucking going on. So I'm gonna stick with 17 because he's for PPR. It doesn't matter so much because he just doesn't get involved in the passing game at all. So I'm just taking a shot that he doesn't have, a stupid amount of yards this week.
Yeah, he's got like 2 receptions on the season, but mate, he's projected for 17.25. So this line is really close to what Sleeper Standard Scoring would put him at. So pretty aggressive number out of the gate. Brendo, do you feel like you're just home and hose? 17 points, fucking no troubles, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
no, I just see it as like one of those games that they both teams need to win. Obviously, or both teams have it's probably one they'll put on the calendar, the old calendar game. They both want to win it, have bragging rights going forward, type stuff. So I just see it coming down to one of those games where it comes a bit more of a grind and a bit more of a sort of ground and pound type game from Baltimore.
And my fantasy team, hope I'm wrong, by the way. So this is definitely...
I was going to say, my fantasy team hopes you're right, because I got Lamar Jackson in one or two leagues, so that'll be great if it was one of those ones.
Someone is leaving this game 1-3, by the way. Holy shit. Right. So, yeah, in terms of stakes, it doesn't get much bigger than that.
It's probably more. Probably it means more for Kansas, because I feel just the division, they're fighting, and they're also fighting for with the Chargers.
Chargers are 3-0, all division wins. So it's like, it's going to be tough to chase them down. So it means a lot. And of course, the Ravens, they have done everything but make a Super Bowl in the last couple of years. So, important to them. Going to go straight to the wide receiver, Tay. I think the number here is going to start getting funny, because we've seen Puka Nacua with 755 catches in 3 games. No touchdown, but he is just catching everything. He goes up against Indianapolis. In LA, they are 14th against wide receiver at the moment, so kind of middling. How many points do you want to start as an opening bid for the score this week for Puka Nacua against the Indianapolis Colts in LA?
Well, Matty C, I will say that Mr. Puka Nacua will score over 13 fantasy points.
Okay. To you, Brendan.
I think he actually gets closer to... Dramatic pause, drum roll. It's actually it's right on the number I was kind of thinking. So I was going to be a dick and just go like 13.25 or something like that. But
2.5. We haven't had a 2.5 yet.
Breaking it down.
But I think I'm going to go with, I reckon it's so I kind of like 13 as well. So I'll just go under. It's just I don't like the Rams very much, so I'll go under.
I had a mental number of 22. I was going to get so much higher.
Oh my God. He's currently projected for 21.02 in Sleeper. So the number's quite big, because it's just the volume of catches is important.
Yeah.
But then, what do you have, 12 for 111 or something this week? That's like 23 points.
That's crazy. The numbers I always have in my head, though. I'm like, I just wake up in the morning. I expect him to be between 9 and 11 catches and
about 100.
Between like 85 and 100 yards. It's like clockwork for him at the moment.
Yeah. And he hasn't got the touchdowns, but it kind of doesn't matter.
No.
Give them all to Devontae Adams, Dave. That was your big call. Give all the touchdowns to Devontae Adams.
That's fine. And Adams lead the league in touchdowns. Helps my Astro team.
It's a Dunze, weirdly. Yeah.
It would be one of my better calls, because I've been saying this all preseason. There was a whole thing about, is Adams going to take away from Nacua? And I said, no, I think they can both be top 12. I think Nacua is going to get all the volume, and I think Adams is going to get the touchdowns. So it works pretty well so far.
So far, so good. Tay, I feel like you'd be really happy. 13 when you had a potential line ahead of 22. You should both each feel very good about your first overs. I'd have taken over on both.
I think I just hate the Rams way too much.
Yeah. It's an Isaac thing. Do you also hate Isaac that much? I mean, it'd be okay. Yeah. The next one I'm going to go to is the tight end, because this one is kind of an interesting one. We've got Trey McBride versus Seattle, and those guys will play as this game. We air on Friday. The game's going to happen Friday, but this season so far, Seattle are actually worse in the league for fantasy points to the tight end position. It's not historically bad, but this year they just seem to be susceptible. Trey McBride, Thursday night, and in Arizona. Trey McBride, how many points do you want to lead as a starting bid for the amount of points that Trey McBride is going to score against Seattle? Let's go, Brendo.
I'm going to start with then, I guess, I think a nice round number to start with. As you mentioned, the ball's going to run through him. I don't think they're going to have much of a run game, obviously, from thinking Kyler's going to do a lot of the running, so it's going to be involved. He's going to be involved quite heavily. I'm going to go throw up I'm going to start a little bit conservative and go with 12.
All right.
I'll go with 13.
14 and a half.
What the halves? I want to go to 16.
That's a jump. So what's that? That's 8 for 80.
Yeah.
And he's going to jump onto a fumble in the end zone.
24. 16 points with Brendan now.
Oh, with me.
Dun.
Let's go. We'll go with 17.
Ooh, it's a good line.
Yeah.
Same as Henry. 17.5.
17.51. No, I'll go.
Oh, God, so
I'll go.
I'll
take
take someone go 17.6 because you don't have to go halves. It's tenths for receiving and running.
That's right. I think 17. So I'll go under with 17.
Going under on the 0.5. The highest number we've had for tight end so far was Tyler Warren last week with 19, and he clearly came under. But I mean that just kind of shows tight end doesn't stop people from going for a big number. And 17.5, that's pretty big. This is right up there with when we had Bowdo go for 17 with Dallas Goddard the other day.
And he didn't even play.
Yeah, then he took the day off. Okay. God, you'll be pissed if Trey McBride takes the day off. 17.5 against Seattle, who are currently last against the tight end on a short week without a running game and an offense that runs through the tight end. I don't know that there was a number that was going to be too big there. I was looking forward to how high that got, and 17.5 does not disappoint. Going to go to the quarterback now, Tay. This is your boy. Very recently your boy at quarterback, Caleb Williams, is now going to get to play at home against Las Vegas, who are 19th against the quarterback position, and coming off a big week, which builds a bit of confidence. And he's just showing he's got nice support out of. DJ Moore got a touchdown when no one was around him. Luther Burden got a touchdown from just sailing one down the field. Roman Dunze leads the league in receiving touchdowns. Mate, I don't know what line would be too big here. Where do you want to start?
Go 14.
He's not a zero with his legs either, Brendan.
No. We'll go. Let's go 17.6. Start throwing the fractions out, the percentages, the small numbers.
With quarterbacks, you can get into all sorts of secondary decimals as well. 17.62, bastard.
What do you got? 18.4.
19.36.
I want this guy on every week, by the way.
I kind of just want that number to be on the ground. You know what, stuff, I'll go under. Just so that's the number.
Yeah. Oh, we've got 2 overs each. Brendan, you've got a 19.36 for Caleb Williams.
I'm going to lose my mind if it's 19.35.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it was 9.3. Yeah, that would just be fantastic. 19.36. Mate, gee, you don't actually have to work that hard to score that many. It's 250 yards passing, pair of touchdowns. That gets you most of the way, right? No worries.
The plan. Yep.
They can do that. Wow, and he is currently projected for 17.15, which I think is on the low end. So I kind of like that you guys went far higher. Mate, our line so far, you've got Derrick Henry at 17, Puka Nacua only on 13. I think Tay's kind of on fire with that one. And then 17.5 for Trey McBride. Tay's got the over there. And here we are, Caleb Williams, 19.36. Brendo's got the over. Here comes my tiebreaker. And this is the wild card one, the joker, where I introduce a player at another position, and this is it's another wide receiver. And I just thought this one was probably too good to pass up, having brought it up as my breakout candidate, Nico Collins against the Tennessee Titans, who are currently this season 28th against the wide receiver. And historically been all right against the wide receiver. Last year it started to fall apart as the season went on, and this year has not been super good. I'm going to go to Brendan first because you're our guest, and let you put in the opening bid for how many points you think Nico Collins is going to score at home against the Tennessee Titans, 28th against wide receiver.
Let's start off with 13. Seems like to be a fun number to start with.
Yeah, I reckon 14.6384. 14, we'll go 14.5.
I was willing to round that for 14.64. I was willing.
I'll round down.
Okay, 14.5.
So should I go? I should go 14.64 now, right?
Once we start getting to 3 pi plus 8, I've got to get at the bod mass. That's where I'm going to lose this segment. It's going to be over.
So I think it's going to be right around that number. Because, 14.5.
You can nudge that number up a little if you want. Don't have to go by halves.
I was going to say, we'll go. Let's go. We'll make it a 15.
Okay.
I'll go to 15.7.
0.7?
Yeah. How you like me now?
I love it. He's doing the maths. Look at him go. 15. He's got the calculator out. This is a guy who's clearly in insurance. Look at him go. He's calculating loss.
He's just got a case of the dropsies a little bit at the moment, I feel like, as well.
Not Marvin Harrison Jr.
No, not that bad. Not that bad, but yeah.
Always start the number of that.
Yeah.
That one came with the Benny Hill music. That one.
Over under 4 drops a game. And you probably take the over.
15.7 for Nico.
I will say, let's just make it a nice. I'm going to say a nice number. It's not going to be a nice number. Let's go 16.14.
He's going to throw a 2-yard pass to someone.
Yeah.
16.14, Tay. Can I draw you on that?
16.8. What a segment.
I think you might have him here. He doesn't want to. Look at him. He doesn't want to.
I kind of just want to keep on going because it's kind of just nice saying numbers. Just random numbers.
It is, again, insurance, you love numbers.
I know. Listen, 17.025.
17.8.
18.
18.6.
18.9.
19.4.
I'm going to go under.
Yeah. Let's go, Nico.
That was maybe the most thrilling one I think I've ever been involved in. And we ended up at 19.1.
19.4.
19.4.
Don't shortchange me that 0.3.
Oh, my gosh. So we've got Nico Collins is currently projected for 17.2. I'd sort of thrown out that I thought he would be good for a 20 burger. Tay, sounds like you were pretty happy to keep on going for a little bit there, but maybe you were starting to reach your what was the highest number you had?
I think around the 20s was where I probably would have been happy to sort of take an under, so it was pretty close. I just have no trust in the fucking Titans, let's be honest.
Same with my passing secondary. I'm like, no, okay. Any number is a good number. So, AFC South. Corners free since 93. Let's run down these. I've got, to kick it off, Derrick Henry, 17.0 is where Brendan stuck the line, and I feel like you're on a winner there. Taylor got a 13-point line on Puka Nacua against Indianapolis against a projection of 21. I feel like you've done well there. Tay went to Trey McBride, who's playing well today as we're airing now. 17.5. Tay's got the over on that and Brendan's got the under. The quarterback, 19.36. First time in history we've had a double decimal as our lock-in number. And Brendan, congratulations for locking that one in on Caleb Williams against the Las Vegas Raiders. And then our last one, Nico Collins, 19.4 against the Tennessee Titans. Taylor with the over on that one. That is 7 points for this week.
Another great guest is here. Are they up to the standard?
Busier than a one-legged cat in a sandbox, so I am good.
My boy.
Only one way to find out.
This is what the people come here for.
I've heard everyone's answers about these, and I've had to think about it.
5 questions. 2 dickheads. Loading.
Mate, we're going to pop these up, and if you've gone over or under on some of these too, feel free to get on the Instagram and comment on where you landed on these. It's a bit of a fun game you can play at home. Some of these, like Starts of the Week and Tipping Point, a lot of fun to play at home. And we're going to get into our last little piece of play for a Friday where we get to bring it. Brendan, you were subjected to this last year, but Tay and I do this every time we bring a guest on. We've now got a whole new series of torture to put you through. Hey, do you want to explain this to Brendan?
Yeah, as you probably remember, Brendo, that we obviously did the 5 questions from 2 wankers, 2 dickheads, whatever superlatives you want to throw our way. Where we brought up different questions between favorite NFL fantasy players and stuff to do with NFL fantasy and stuff to absolutely nothing to do with NFL fantasy. So, mate, we decided to freshen up the 5 questions and do something a little bit different for you tonight.
Oh, bring it on.
I imagine you are just as prepared as ever. Like last time, you pretty much just let it wash over you and just kind of, roll with the punches. I don't know how well you can be prepared for these questions anyway because of the range of things that they cover. But I'm going to let Tay throw the first haymaker at you.
All right, so this was a topical question on the social media for a little while, but not this exact question. We've obviously NFL'd it up a little bit. So, Brendo, would you rather fight 1 Derrick Henry-sized Kyler Murray or 5 Kyler Murray-sized Derrick Henrys?
Ooh. I think I would just still go with taking on 1 quarterback. So I would have to go with 1 Kyler Murray, but Derrick Henry size.
Yes, okay.
I think that that added size to Kyler. He does well with his small frame and tries to be a little bit zippy. I think adding that extra side might make him a little bit clumsy.
Yeah, he might fumble. Fuck.
Yeah, fumble. Yeah, fumble.
Got the dropsies lately. Yeah, 100%. Mate, I look at this one and I just go, man, Kyler Murray's like the size of an average child. You got kids. How scared are you of kids, mate? So what if they got dreadlocks? I'm not scared of them.
I think the scary thing is I always feel like it's the number game and you start having to play sort of like a zone against 5 things coming at you. That gets a bit worrisome where at least where you've got 1 thing coming, you stare straight down at it. And, we sort of mentioned it a little bit earlier when I was, from my Kai Macau days, I was in the front row, so I didn't mind just whacking, basically, running against the brick wall a couple of times. So, yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go back to what you know. We'll go back to what you know.
Trenches at rugby.
Yeah, well, you go back to what you know.
Yeah, okay. No, it makes 100% sense. I memean, I back my speed. This is why I don't mind the 5 guys. Because rugby, I was a winger. Like, what are you going to do? So, I love it. Mate, second question up is, everyone's got this guy, right? And whether it's this season or previous seasons, but is this a player you've avoided drafting in your NFL fantasy teams because you don't buy their hype?
Unfortunately, I'm still a little bit too much of heart over head half the time. So I really just don't draft. And it showed in the last segment of my absolutely lack of caring about what number he was going to get. But I just don't draft Puka Nacua because I just can't stand the guy. So I don't want to see him on the team. I don't want to have to watch him 2 times a week, 2 times a year play the Niners. So I just stay away from him. It might not be a sound decision, but it is one that has happened a number of times. But then I get stuck with Lad McConkey a bunch of times. So that's been working out really well for me. So as I said, it's probably not the best strategy, but yeah, I do out of the NFC West, I would say I do have a disdain to the Rams the most out of all.
Bring aggression.
So yeah.
Does this hold up, Tay? Just being in a few leagues with Brendan?
Yeah. I think it's a bit of a cross-divisional bias, I think, mate. I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever heard anyone dislike Puka at all. I feel like everyone else just fucking loves him.
So maybe it's a you problem, but you've admitted it, so fair enough.
I was going to say, I know there's someone else in my court. I think his ex-partner's about in the same spot at the moment, but that's a bit, it's probably a bit of a low shot, but yeah.
So it's all Puka, throwing up the X, no deal, no Puka, get out of my life. I love that. Hey, Tay, you got the next one?
Sorry, mate. Can you just give me 1 sec? I've had to put it on charge.
Yeah. No, all good.
So, just because my phone's a piece of shit. It is running out of battery super quick. And 1 sec. All right, good to go. All right, Brendo, who's your arch rival in fantasy football?
Well, Well, I think I get to. I'm enjoying sharing a podcast with him at the moment.
Oh, Matty C. Oh,
yeah.
Especially after that Vikings thing last week, mate. He'll never forget.
No, but I thought for a rival, aren't they meant to be decent at it?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So
count me out then. I'm gone.
So, no, I think with that start, with that sort of that there's a dynasty league that Taylor and I play in. There was a couple of years where we were very competitive against each other. I will say that I was lucky enough that I think Taylor has an endearing personality sometimes to a lot of other players. So I was able to get maybe a little bit of some trades swung in my favour slightly in a couple of those years. But yeah, I think there was a couple of years where Taylor and I were pretty much 1 and 2 for like I think that run for a little while. So that was good.
The first 3 years, pretty much, wasn't it? It's like you guys share those first 3 titles, right?
Oh, the first 3 years was between. Well, first year I came last because I sucked, and then that's where I got a lot of.
Tay won 2, and now you've won 1.
And then I got 1, and then now we're just all going to be against Pete.
Yeah.
Which is pretty.
Now you guys have the same enemy, so you're kind of friends. Is that
frenemies? Frenemies? Is that
how that works?
That's how the whole league is, though. Like, because the whole league was so anti-me for ages because I won the first 2. And then they were wanting Brendo to win so bad in that third year, so I didn't get like a second bloody back-to-back jackpot of all the money. So, and like I think Brendo needed like 9 points or something from fucking Justin Jefferson, so it looked like it was over. But it was who the fuck was throwing in the ball? Was it Jaron Hall or something? It was some backup.
Oh God!
And it was like
Alan Mond or someone probably. Yeah,
the slowest fucking process. Like he was like like dinking and dunking to fucking Jefferson slowly but surely, and he still hadn't got there in like the end of the third quarter. And I'm like, is this seriously going to go all the way to the fourth? Because I had that hilarious story of Ben Jones in the first year where he only needed like 0.8 or something from fucking from Deontay Johnson in the last like 2 quarters of the game, and he didn't get it. And he had like,
incredible.
12 drops in that game or something. Like, it was insane.
Unbelievable.
So everyone was wondering if that was going to happen again, but luckily enough, near the end in the fourth quarter, at some stage, Jefferson got there and Brendo triumphed. And, I think the whole league fucking
a collective sigh of relief.
So that's good.
I love that. So that's it. The rivalry lives on by the sound of it.
Absolutely. But like you said, we're all just trying to fucking destroy the Godzilla monster that's fucking Pete.
That's an old saying of my enemy's enemy is my friend. So, so now you guys have to team up.
We really could just try and make a lineup between 4 of us and would probably still lose.
Yeah.
That is a dominant team. Okay. Mate, I'm going to chip in with the next question here. This is my last contribution to this segment is, would you rather have to hand over decision-making for your favourite fantasy football team to your mother, or would you rather have to toss a coin to make every decision for that team this year?
Well,
how's Mama Brendo go? Come on, you've been educating her a bit over the years, haven't you? Come on, just over a bowl of wings in the morning.
My mum grew up in Wisconsin, so she's definitely got green and yellow goggles. If there was
a nice bowl of cheese in the morning, you guys are talking about this.
I was going to say if there was fantasy points for yelling at them to get off their head, she would go pretty good because that's her favourite call during a Monday morning. But I would have to say flip a coin because you can't rely on anyone that's got any type of Packer fan who's obviously got a few screws loose. So you just got to have to go with the coin. And statistically, obviously, being as we played that nice fun game of betting where we rolled out some of those nice small numbers. Obviously, 50-50. I'd rather take a 50-50 call on a lot of that stuff. I think you come out on top in the end.
You have so little faith in your own mother.
Yeah.
The mothers are getting a rinsing in this question, Tay.
Also, I like Pete Neal's getting a solid rinsing too. It's like he's having to go at Packers fans, he's having to go at Pete in fantasy, and then even just the fact he had to go at Puka Nakua, who I know Pete loves on his fantasy team. So, I'm really loving the digs at Pete.
Yeah, actually, screw you, Pete Neal, by the way. I'll see you in a few weeks.
This happens a lot on this podcast, whether it's meant to be happening or not. It just somehow always reverts back to Pete.
Just screw Pete. And then you get him on, and he's a lovely bloke to talk to. But, he's got some problematic allegiances, I understand.
Yeah, we have since my family is from the Wisconsin area. There is my mum's one of 4, and there's a whole bunch of grandkids, and it's only myself and my cousin who are non-Packer fans out of the group.
Dissenters.
We used to be that, but we've done well, and we've married well because we've married some Niner fans as well. So we're starting to bring the Niners. The Niners are starting to come up a little bit as well. So yeah, and we're being good parents and making sure we keep them away from that cheesehead stuff, and bring them into the fold of a good team.
Yes. Cheese is food, not friends. That's that's it. Let's just reverse the Finding Nemo saying. Cheese is food, not friends. Hey, Tate, you want to bring this one home?
Let's do it. All right, Brendo. If you could have any sporting movie character join your fantasy football team, who would it be?
Who would it be?
Sorry, you would be the first person that's had to think about it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a trapdoor in this one because firstly you go, fuck, sports movies. And you go, well, what fucking position would fucking, I don't know, the first person we asked was Ian from G'day Gridiron. He goes, give me Cole Trickle. I reckon he'd be a sick quarterback. And he probably would be. But, that's a pretty strange spot to go and get your first sports movie from is that you're talking about a race driver. I think most people consider sport movies to be like, your basketball, football, those kinds of movies.
I didn't even know who Cole Trickle fucking was. So I all sorts.
I still don't. Yeah, still don't know.
This is the divide between Tay and I when it comes to generations. Apparently, I'm in a whole different generation. So.
Let's go with. I was thinking football. So. Yeah. I'm drawing a blank on the character's name.
Oh, what movie though?
The Any Given Sunday, the Jamie Foxx quarterback character.
You go.
I should have just looked it up.
Yeah, I'm doing that now too.
Weird because I don't think if I've seen it while I was super young, and I feel like I still know the name, but I can't think of it. Even though I feel like it's not from remembering the movie. I just feel like it's a well-known name, just in circles. I just can't fucking think of it.
I've watched so few football movies.
Willie Beeman.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Willie Beeman. There you go.
I've heard him so many times, but I don't think I've actually seen the movie.
Get him in your fantasy team. Mate, what's the appeal? Bomb arm? Double threat? Where's he getting your points?
I was actually just going through all the quarterbacks that I knew played in movies, and I didn't want Keanu Reeves on the team.
I didn't have any great deal.
As long as it's not Keanu Reeves, that's the criteria. Jamie Foxx is not Keanu Reeves.
I was going to say, I think it's been a while since I've seen that movie, so I could be completely wrong. But I do remember that he went on one of those like sort of that, because he was the backup that came in, so you would have had to pick him off your waiver wire. And he came in, and he would have been one of those people that sort of like if you get him at the right week, you wouldn't have had to pay anything for him, and then he would just go, balls to the wall, and you'll just be like, you win every league because you were able to sneak this guy into your side, and he was able to do he was dual threat, so a bit of running, obviously comes through pretty well, but yeah.
So he's Nick Foles. He's just, you pick him up.
That's right.
For the year for free. He goes and throws 20 touchdowns and 2 intercepts and just leads your team to the promised land. That's what we're doing?
That's it.
Well, one was Big Dick Nick and one's Big Willie. So it makes sense.
Yeah. And there we go. It's taken a little while, but we've got to the cock jokes, ladies and gentlemen. That part of the show has arrived very late on the Friday edition.
It would be the first time I've arrived late, Matty C. Hey!
Yeah. Usually this is a bloke who is early, ladies and gentlemen. You've survived that. That's, I think, the hardest question in terms of just there's a bit to consider, and then you've got to try and find a way to wrap that in fantasy. Yeah. And I think you've done an admirable job of taking that one on no notice at all, Brendan.
Oh, they were good ones. I enjoyed them. Yeah.
By comparison to last time where you didn't enjoy it? Is that what you...
That's fair.
Because reasonable. We've had time to think about this.
Serious lack of aliens and zombies.
I was going to say the aliens. Well, see, I think as well last time when I did them, I was I think I was number like I had there was a few beforehand, and I was getting I could see a bit of a rhythm for it. Well, not see here a bit of a rhythm going, and like the aliens versus zombies thing was basically we had to change it straight away because I think wasn't it like zombies for like the first 7 people or something like that?
Yeah, it was a landslide early.
Yeah, so I think that was a little bit different, but yeah, to be honest, yeah, they were. No, it was. I felt it was a good one. It did put me on my toes. I can tell you that much. I was not expecting to have to try to think of sports players to put in
up sports movies. The other person who I think was really prepared for that one was, fucking surprise, surprise, Pete Neal, who had a entire defense, an entire offense. He had the coach. He had a fucking player agent. That guy it was ridiculous. And then the very next week, Kev came on and just picked apart his team because it's like fucking half of these guys don't even play the side of the ball he wanted. And he came and just set an entire 22-man versus Pete team. It was a triumph, absolute triumph. But the fun of having so many new voices on the podcast this year, and we've had plenty in the last 2 months, is that we've been getting to ask them the traditional, the first timers questions. But mate, a guy with experience like you, we can't submit you to the first timer questions, mate. We've got too much respect for that. And we think there's actually quite a bit of fun in the second set of questions. So I'm glad you got a bit out of that. Yeah, you had a bit of fun with it.
No, they're enjoyable. Very good.
Now, mate, we're going to be back for a Sunday show where you get to do a segment that you had a real good shake at last year, the starts of the week. Do you remember how you performed at that last time around?
Oh, Actually, I think I didn't do too. If I remember correctly, it wasn't great. I don't think
it was a tough outing. But mate, this is a great thing. You've got some experience at it now, and we've changed the rules a bit, so we're all kind of still fumbling and bumbling our way through it a little bit. Well, except Taylor, who's now.
We'll give a shout out
about this on Sunday.
We'll give a shout out to Keza. I did come out of that thinking that I won the draft, and it just didn't pan out the right way, which is exactly what's happened to Keza's teams this year. So, yeah.
That's like that, Kieran. And Kieran, we were hoping he was going to join us this week, and things have conspired. And instead of having the double duo, the crime fighting machine of Brendan and Kieran this week, Kieran wasn't actually able to join. So, mate, hopefully that hasn't impacted your preparation for that. You got a little bit of time now between here and Sunday to get your draft formula together. Problem is, as is customary in the segment, Taylor won last week, so he's going to get to pick the draft order. And Dave, I know you've still got a little bit of time to settle on that, but you've been working out how to game this a bit, mate.
Yeah, look, I've got 2 days to think about it, Matty C, so I'm sure I'll come up with some fantastic plan like I always do. But, in the end, I'll probably just wing it before it happens.
Yeah, cool. You can catch all that on the Sunday show. In the meantime, hey, guys, we've got G'day Gridiron arriving tomorrow. Also, and we haven't plugged this enough, Brad on G'day Gridiron is a Cowboys fan, and he needs a gap year. He needs to find another team to support. There is the very top link on our link tree at the moment is vote for Brad's gap year team. So hit the link tree. It's linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. Top link. Suggest a team for Brad to follow. In a couple of weeks' time, we're just going to take the team that has the most votes, and Brad's going to follow that team for the whole year instead of the stinky Cowboys. Brendan, I feel like you've got an opinion who you might vote for him to follow there. Not maybe the 49ers. You might just pick a team that he hates.
Probably a good chance, yes.
Rams.
Yeah, Rams.
The Rams, yeah. I think I'm just still burnt by the old Kurt Warner to Isaac Bruce.
Oh,
greatest show on turf. Well, that wasn't that good, but yeah.
Tay will tell you about that from that Super Bowl, by the way.
That's
the one short.
Yeah.
Why don't we just pull my testicles out and pull it out one by one?
Just pull out every hair one by one. Yeah. Let's do that.
One by one is the right number.
Well played. You're going to catch G'day Gridiron tomorrow, and please do hit the website and select a team for Brad's gap year. We're back on Sunday for the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. Starts of the week, and we'll get in the mailbag. You'll also catch the the NFL Supercoach Halfer, which dropped yesterday. Tay, that show has been fantastic. Thank you so much for putting so much time and effort into that, because you've turning me into a bit of a dynamo. I'm doing all right in that, mate. So I'm going to need your help with some trades, though.
Yeah, you're the one doing better than me, so you might need to be the one taking the lead, mate. But in the end, like I said, it's just been just so phenomenal, all the support we've had, and maybe we'll actually record the first episode that goes out. That'll be fantastic.
Unlikely. Yeah, we're going to record that one at least twice, Tay. I like how when we recorded the second time, we actually talked even more than the first time round as well. We did not make that more efficient.
No, we won't.
Efficiency, not our thing. Guys, we're going to get out of here. We'll catch you all on Sunday. Find everything you need through the Linktree /Aussie Gridiron Network, and we'll see you on Sunday. Hooroo!
Hooroo, everyone. Thank you.
Catch ya.
The Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. Thanks to the Aussie Gridiron Network, Australia's home for NFL and Australian gridiron content. Discover everything the network has to offer, including G'day Gridiron, Pastry Press, NFL, and Aussie Gridiron Today. Buy merch and win free stuff. Visit the mothership at Linktree /Aussie Gridiron Network. Hooroo!